Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football. I'm Harper LaBelle, and you're watching our Draft Prospect Show. Logan Landers is our producer and engineer. Vincent Turner is our host and founder, and also our scout who found this young man that we're going to talk about right now, Jackson Slater. He's listed as an offensive lineman. I see him as a guard. He could be ended up being a tackle, but he's from a small school out in California called Sacramento State. He's originally from Washington, but Vincent, this guy has everything that you would want. If you were to take a picture of what do you want a guard to look like at the college level, where else would you want to go other than looking at Jackson Slater? 6'4", 310 pounds. He's athletic. He's powerful. He's violent. He's everything that you would want. But he went to a small school. So once again, we're going to be looking at a guy that is going to have to swim upstream in order to get noticed by all the coaches, all the scouts, all the personnel directors. But does he have all the tools to be able to make it at the next level?
You know why I chose this player today, Hart, when I was looking at his bio and doing some information on him? I knew that you'll fall in love with this young man out of Bellevue, Washington. Small school guy, not highly recruited, worked himself into a tremendous football player. This is one guy that's going to move up the draft boards, I guarantee you, that probably has a great chance of getting at the end of the first round. He played offensive tackle at Sacramento State, but a lot of people saying he might move down the guard. But what I like about him, Harper, is his ability to stay there and scrap. But he's a technician in the run game. And a lot of people, when I was reading stories, said he's got some skill sets like Ron Yeary, Jim Lachey. A lot of people even saying, when I'm talking about technician now, I don't want to start anything today here on 100 Yards of Football. But as a technician, like one of your former teammates that played 17 years in the league, he played tackle, though, Mike Ken. I'm going to give it back to you, Hop.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being a technician, so go ahead and start it. But I'm going to tell you what, everybody that's ever put on pads before knows that when you got to go through the chutes, and you know what I'm talking about, that little metal barrier and piece of garbage that somebody designed way back when, and there's something about the chutes that everybody hates because you got to get low, you've got to stay powerful while you're low, and you've got to learn how to move when you're uncomfortable. And I think Jackson Slater has done all of those things. I think he's very comfortable when he gets into a guy and fits. When you're with your girlfriend, it's called spooning, right? But in football, you don't want to spoon with somebody, but you want to fit. You want to have your helmet underneath his, and you're able to push this guy and get leverage. And everybody that has looked at this young man, Jackson Slater, has said he fits, he gets leverage, he gets power because of it. He keeps his feet moving on contact. He makes initial strike that is upsetting to a defensive lineman. And he's a disruptor. So all the things that you would want. He's 6'4", 316 pounds. He's been invited to the Senior Bowl. He's a first-team AP All-American out of a small little school in 2024. He was all Big Sky in 2024 and 23, and by the way, 22 as well. Third-team All-American back in 2022. So people have noticed him for a while. They're just waiting. Did you transfer? Nope. Did you stay where you were? Did you work on your technique? Did you have a good coach around you? All of those are yeses. And we're going to find out here at the Senior Bowl how he does against some of the best talent in the country. I think he's going to look forward to that type of a challenge and the fight there within.
Experienced guy, started 44 straight games in college. Newport High School in Bellevue, Washington, very academic school there. Mark Polk, who's the head coach of the University of Kentucky, came out of that school. But this is what I like about him. They said as a run defender, he might be one of the best coming into this draft, or the best. They say when he gets to the offensive line, the party starts. Just like the great Mr. Wayne Casey, a.k.a. Casey and the Sunshine Band. Party. This gentleman right here, I like him, man. This is a football player. Granted, I understand he didn't play against the competition, but he's physical, he's athletic, and he's going to impact any offensive line that he gets drafted on each team. He is that good a football player. I got a feeling, looking at him, I think we all said and done after the 2025 NFL draft, the team that selects him is going to be very happy. And I think he could be a day one starter. Back
Yeah,
to you, Mr. Hart.
that's the way. I like it. I think a lot
Uh-huh.
of line coaches are going to love the KC and the Sunshine Band analogies. You mentioned that he started 44 games, which is a big number. That means he's on the field as a freshman a lot and getting a chance to play and to learn. You make mistakes, you correct them, and next thing you know, you stay on the field. He stays low. He gets under the pads. He's great at movement and initial contact. He displaces defenders. I mentioned that he was a really good fit guy. There are many that say he's great at doing that and getting a push off afterwards. He can read from the first to the second level. And that was an interesting take where, let's say he's double teaming with a guard and the two of them have a defensive lineman. He's very quick to be able to determine, all right, am I going up to the next level or are you, depending on where the defender is, and being able to get that done, being able to stay on the block of that defensive lineman to allow the other player to go up to that next level, or him doing it himself and making sure that that guy doesn't make the tackle. He sets a very good edge and takes great angles when he pulls and is able to go down the line and has to hit an end or an outside linebacker. I can imagine him having a lot of pancakes and big crushing blocks when there's a wham block and a play going in from behind him. So his power, his strength, his speed, he's a great anchor. His run fundamentals are outstanding, and his lower body strength is off the charts. What are his weaknesses, Vincent? I know I've got one, but tell me a little bit about what this young man, he's not perfect. They never are. But what are some of the things that the scouts are concerned about?
They say sometimes he might get, as you always talking about, linemen being too high, getting too over aggressive within the line of scrimmage. He's physical, he's an athlete, but sometimes that he might not can handle the bull rush at a certain high level. But as I said before, he's a gentleman that when I look at him, 44 straight games, Hawk, you know yourself as a football player, the gentleman is starting from day one. And you brought up a very excellent point. He has the opportunity to learn and make mistakes and get better. And he's gotten better because obviously we wouldn't be talking about him being a day 2 pick or possibly in a first round pick. Back to you, Hawk.
Yeah, in tight spaces, he will try to set the line in pass pro right there. He doesn't drop back enough, and he makes great contact when that works. But obviously, defenders watch film too, and when they recognize that, they're going to want to go around him. And that's one of the things that for him to get leveraged and to move out after anticipating contact at the line of scrimmage, that's one area where he does need to work on and improve. He'll get beat on a second move. That's bull rush. He can withstand it. Can he get better at it? Absolutely. But the spin off of that, or a guy that's going to fake a bull rush and try to go around him, those are some weaknesses that he has. So he needs to do better at anticipating in space. Those are just some basic things. What lineman doesn't? But because of his size, his strength, his ability, his desire, his violent attitude, his great hands, we think he has a promising career in the National Football League. Maybe a day 2 guy, in other words, a second or a third round draft pick. But who knows? If he has a great combine, he could move up and be, because he's 6'4" and not 6'6.5", that might be a detriment. But it doesn't matter. He's going to be a guy that is going to be playing in the NFL for quite a long time. Last thoughts, Vincent?
This is a football player. This is a guy I expect that's going to be moving up the draft boards, especially when the draft starts. When you need a quality lineman, a lineman that can come in and be, I think, a starter from day one, you better ask Jackson Slater, offensive tackle, Sacramento State. He'll be your man. Back to you, Mr. Hart.
Yeah, we got a challenging but promising future in front of him. We're not going to get much taller, but you can get stronger, you can get faster, and you can work on some of those technique items that people think are weaknesses. And before the combine is there, get all of that taken care of. And next thing you know, your paycheck is going to be a lot bigger. So all the best of luck to you, Jackson. We wish you well. We know it's not going to be easy, but certainly the reward is there on the other end for you. So for Logan Landers, our producer and engineer, Our host and founder is Vincent Turner. I'm Harper LaBelle saying thank you for tuning in to another episode of 100 Yards of Football. This is our Draft Prospect Show. We appreciate you tuning in. Have a fantastic day, everybody.